Hammerin Hero is a PSP game that looks pretty damn stupid at first glance, but there's actually something to it. Surprisingly, this isn't the first game in the series either. The first game came out over here as Hammerin Harry, and then for a long time there was nothing else. There was a couple Japanese Super Nintendo games and an arcade game thrown somewhere in the mix, but that was it. It's not like I knew anything about the series either, which you really don't need to. I had just finished playing Pretty and I wanted just a smidgen more old school action with a quirky storyline that only the Japanese can deliver. And they always do. It's up to you again to fight off Yosuke Kuromoku and the evil construction company. They're taking over your poor little city and evicting your friends and neighbors so that they can build, oh hell, I don't know, something else, I guess. They're also hurting a lot of people and taking over baseball stadiums and amusement parks and television studios and more. It really makes no sense at all, but it's up to you to bring down the mighty hammer of justice on these devilish ruffians. The game is side-scrolling action with a little bit of platforming. As you can probably tell from the video, you aren't jumping all over the place like this was Ninja Gaiden or something like that. The pace is slowed down and you take up a decent-sized portion of the screen. You stroll along and bop your enemies out of existence in a very simplified style of gameplay. Enemies telegraph their swings and it's up to you to handle it. I might sound like I'm making this up to be just some sort of throwaway experience, but it's actually very fun. You see, while I love old school throwbacks, not all of them need to be Mega Man 9 or Castlevania Order of Ecclesia. And I do enjoy those games, so don't get me wrong. But not all of them need to be as hard as hell. Not every game back in the day was Ghosts and Goblins. There were some chill and relaxed games as well. And that's what this is. The pace is just right, and you can go about things however quickly you'd like, although you still have to react to obstacles and enemies as you face them. There's a little trial and error with a lot of instant deaths, but the levels are only 2 or 3 minutes anyway, so it's not much of a problem. Ultimately, yeah, Hammerin Hero is rather insignificant. My life would be just as complete without this game, but regardless, it's fun. The outrageousness of some of the enemies and areas is great. The boss battles are all really cool, and the final level, well, is just freaking sweet. I don't want to spoil it, although if you're familiar with the company that made this game, Irem, you might have an idea. Just checking out the various level gimmicks is fun enough. Hammerin Hero is a game that I recommend if you enjoy these old school style games and want something small to play in between your bigger games. This game will be over in just a few hours, but it is quite fun. Hammerin Hero for the PSP receives a 7 out of 10.